Hello, everyone. Welcome to another section of Lordson's World. Today we are going to be having a wonderful guest with us, who is going to be talking to us about academic excellence. So, sir, please, can you please tell us about yourself and your educational background?
All right. Mr. Lordson, it's a privilege indeed to be on your platform. I think I count it very much a privilege because we are going to be sharing some things now which are going to be very insightful and going to impact lives of young academicians, people who are trying to get into the academia. To commence, my name is Shu Godwilde. I am an engineer by profession. I have a bachelor's degree in industrial engineering. I also have a master's degree in industrial engineering, as well as I'm currently doing a PhD in power systems engineering. Particularly, I'm a PhD candidate. Thank you.
Wow, the list is long. Okay, Mr. Shu. In fact, I'm like, how can somebody be doing power system? That's big book for me. So what is what is academic excellence?
All right. Academic excellence, if you want to go into the definition of various scholars, they'll give you diversified definitions to academic excellence. But I'll tell you academic excellence at the level of what I have come to understand by experience. Academic excellence has to do with, first, let's start with the word excellence. What is excellence all about? The word excellence, if you go into your Macmillan or Oxford dictionary, they'll tell you that it is the ability to put something at the highest quality or at its best. That's the meaning of excellence. The ability to put on something at the highest quality or at its best. So if you talk of academic excellence, it means is the ability to put on academics at its highest quality or at its best. So when you say academic excellence, then it means academics should be put at its highest quality in an individual, be it a student or be it a person who is undertaking the academics, be it a scholar or whatever the level is, putting that at its highest level of best or quality is called excellence. So if I say we are talking about academic excellence simply means that I'm putting my academics at its best and at its highest quality. In basic terms, I think that is what academic excellence is all about. Putting my academics at its best. My output in academics should be at its best and at its highest level. That is excellence.
Wow, powerful. Putting my academics at its best. So does it mean those who have low grades in school and are studying hard are not academically excellent?
Okay, I think that question is very pertinent. It's a very, very sensitive question you've just asked. That those who have high grades in school doesn't mean they are actually at academic excellence or they are putting in their best to have high grades. Now, I want to let you understand first thing, Mr. Lordson, is that it is very difficult to quantify excellence at the level of having high grades. You can be very good at grades, but you are not at your academic best. You are not putting in your best quality in academics. So it is very, very much not fair enough to say that somebody who has high grades is actually at his academic excellence, because according to the structure of our academia, especially in Africa and particularly in Cameroon where we come from, you realize that you can actually have high grades without necessarily being at your academic best, because we have a system of evaluation which is based on examinations where you have to go and study some material and come and reproduce. Now, if I have the ability to reproduce and I have the high grades with respect to the questions which were asked, does not necessarily mean that I'm actually at my academic best. Now, it comes back to that definition of the academic excellence. What is academic excellence? In my own experience, to break down that term again so that I can answer this question, particularly with respect to what you just asked, you realize that academic excellence has to do with you acquiring knowledge in the academia That's the first thing. And then being able to use that knowledge and replicate that knowledge in such a way that it becomes applicable in your day-to-day life or your immediate environment. That's what I call academic excellence. That's why I say being at the academic best. You acquire knowledge. That's the first thing. Through the acquisition of knowledge, you'll be able to understand, to discern, to have a deep understanding of the knowledge, so that you'll be able to use it now to apply the knowledge in the environment that will be very much beneficial to the man in the community, to the layman who does not even understand what you're doing, but he sees the benefits of what you've acquired as knowledge. That is what I call academic excellence. So you see, but our system of evaluation in Cameroon, for example, does not necessarily give you the room to really say somebody's at his academic excellence because he has high grades. Because it's very possible that I can score an A grade in a course, or I can score an A plus in a course, or B plus in a course, or whatever the evaluation system, depending on the evaluation system, whether French or English evaluation system, since you have two systems of evaluation in Cameroon. So you can have a very good grade in a course, but does not necessarily mean that you're academically excellent, because you might necessarily just acquire the knowledge by memorizing and reproducing, like in some of the systems of education I passed through, and you simply just reproduce that knowledge and you get a score, which is good. But when it comes to understanding what you have done, it is not there, because at the level of the application now, it becomes a problem. Now there's something now, just to add to that, there's something that is being implemented now in the academia, which is something which people who are evaluating, professors, like doctors and so on, they have come out with a system they call now the PBL system of evaluation, which is called problem-based learning. What is problem-based learning? It is learning where you acquire knowledge and you use that knowledge to solve a problem in the society. That is now application. I think that is a very good approach to examine whether somebody is his academic excellence or his academic best or his academic quality. So in my opinion, higher grades does not necessarily mean that you are at your academic excellence.
Wow. So how can we be able to achieve this? Because now we now know academic excellence is not all about the grades, it's being able to apply the knowledge which you receive. So how is a student going to be able to, like, how am I'm a student, how am I going to be able to achieve this academic excellence which you're talking about, not the one which we think is about having 25 on 25 in a test paper, passing maths, being the best in class, or taking first, like we always say in Cameroon, like taking first in class, and you're like, oh, you're academic. How can we be able to achieve this academic excellence you're talking about?
Mr. Lordson, I think you're asking a very, very important question, which is call for concern in the academia today, in the 21st century. I think that answering this question will go a long way to help a lot of people who are having this particular challenge to actually say that they are the academic excellence. How do we go about it, as you've asked? But before I answer that question, I want to let you know that with my little experience, I have watched a lot of students, being one of them even, who have been acquiring good grades in school, and then acquiring those good grades in school, and you watch someone who does not have that kind of grades like you, but when it comes to the level of implementation or application in order to solve a problem in the society, they instead excel at that level. And I call that academic excellence instead, not necessarily the acquisition of grades. I have watched many people do that. Average people in class, but at the level of the application of what they have acquired, man, they do mind-blowing things. Mind-blowing things. That you see the result of what they have learned in school. Whereas I just simply had grades, but when it came to the level of application, I might not be necessarily able to apply. Now, how do you then acquire such academic excellence where you acquire knowledge and you can be able to apply immediately in the society? I think the evaluation method now has to be changed. I think that's where the problem is. First, the teaching method, and next the evaluation method. I think those are the two. The first is the teaching method. I just made mention to you something we call PBL, problem-based learning. Problem-based learning. How do I do that? Thank God you and I are in the field of engineering and technology, and it is very easy to implement what I'm saying, problem-based learning. How do I do it? For example, I will talk a little bit maybe of my background of industrial engineering or maybe power systems engineering. For example, industrial engineering is just all about trying to optimize industrial processes in order to have its best so that you can minimize costs for the industrialist, maybe for the entrepreneur. So you bring in an engineer and he evaluates your machinery, he evaluates your production system, he evaluates everything in the industry, and then brings in now an approach which is optimal, which will minimize cost. So if I have to train you to become an excellent industrial engineer, I think the approach here should be number one. My method of training you should be PBL, problem-based learning. How do I do it? I give you the concepts first. For example, I give you the concepts first for a course. Let's just say I take a particular course in industrial engineering, and let's just say a course which is called industrial optimization. And I give you the concepts of what optimization is all about. Maybe I give you the optimization concept, what it means to optimize, maximize or minimize a particular parameter. I give you the concept of obtaining maybe objective functions. And when I do all of that, all the concept has been laid and I explain the concept to you. Then what I do immediately after that is to channel that concept directly into a problem. Channel that concept directly into a problem, a day-to-day problem in an industry. For example, in the case setting of Cameroon, and I channel that problem there, I bring that problem and bring those concepts. For example, I will tell you that, okay, I've taught you how to optimize a particular let's say a particular process in an industry, maybe it's a fabrication process, a manufacturing process. I give you the machinery, I give you the concept of optimization, what it means to maximize, what it means to minimize, and what it means to obtain objective functions, and I tell you this is the problem. Now apply that. I teach you how to apply to a particular case study, then I bring another case study I give you for you to apply the same concept. That is problem-based learning. Simple. I have brought a case study, I gave you the concept, and then now I bring a case study for you to apply the concept. That's application now. So that when you go now tomorrow in an industry and you are given maybe a complex machinery system in order for you to actually design an optimization process for you to minimize costs for the industry, for the entrepreneur to minimize costs and acquire much more money, then you simply apply that. As simple as that, because you have learned based on a case, you have learned based on a problem to solve. You have not just come and acquired concepts. You have not just come and acquired concepts and solve some questions looking for X and Y, which we have never stopped looking for X and Y's in our systems. And you solve and integrate all kinds of complex things. And at the end of the day, I ask you, how does that get into application in the day-to-day life? You can apply that. So problem-based learning is giving the concept. After the concept has been understood by the student, you bring a problem and immediately the problem is implemented automatically. In that case, you are actually doing problem-based learning. You can take that on and on different fields. It could be software engineering, it could be website building in software engineering, website development. You are into that. And let's just say you want to apply that. After you have given the concept, it's clear. Take the student directly into the laboratory. Give a particular case. This is a website we want you to build. Go ahead and build one. Full stop. That is application. And once a student can build a website that is actually operating according to the expectation of the customer, you bring a case study of a customer who has said, build me a website that does this, and that, and give it to the student who claims to have done web development. And the student does that. Once it does that, that is application. I call that academic excellence. You have transferred the knowledge from the concept to application. That is excellence to me. It's not about writing an exam pass. And you're interested to know, Mr. Lordson, before I round off for that question, that where I am right now currently in the Republic of Kenya, the Kenyans are actually applying that system of education. You know, at the level of secondary education here, I learned from them just 2 days ago that what they do now is mainly based on problem solving. If you think you want to go to the university and go through the secondary level, you must be able, especially in the science and technology, to solve a problem. They will bring a problem to you, you apply what you have learned, and you solve. It could be designing something, and that is it, you are evaluated. I call that academic excellence. Thank you.
Wow, that's true.